Hello, lovely people. You welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Kwaku, also a master's student at East Tennessee State University, pursuing master's program in information system with focus in data analytics. I had my first master's degree in finance with focus in fintech and financial analytics from the Hong Kong Baptist University in Hong Kong. So I've been sharing a couple of information about Hong Kong schools, and on this episode I want us to look at how one can apply for a visa to Hong Kong, because without visa you cannot move to Hong Kong to go study. So I want us to look at how the visa process is being done today. If you're new to my channel, I would encourage you to subscribe. If you're old here, just comment, share, and then watch my vlogs too for me. That is the only thing that can prove to me that, in fact, what I'm giving out is actually necessary and that people need the information. So I would encourage you to support the work I do over here in order to encourage me to also do more for you. So without much ado, let me share my screen and then let's start the business. Okay, so to apply for a visa to Hong Kong, usually when you're being given admission with scholarship, the school will send you a lot of information about how visa application is being done, and most of the information includes certain links that it can take you straight away to the immigration website for you to apply your visa. So, but what you can do is that you can also go to www.immd.gov.hk. That is the immigration website. So you visit the immigration website. I told you the last time that Hong Kong has two official languages, that is English and Chinese, even though their local dialect happens to do with Cantonese. But Chinese and English happens to be the official language. So most of their communication are in this language. Some of them are in three languages, the Cantonese, the Chinese itself, and then also English. So when you visit any of HK websites, you will see something like that. So when you go to the immigration website and then you are that type that can read Chinese, you can translate it to Chinese. If you are comfortable with English, you can just maintain it as English, right? So when you go to their website, this is just a notification. That's not what you're looking for. You can read. I mean, reading is good because it will show you what to do and what not to do. So when you go to their website, what you're supposed to do is you go to our service and you see what we call visa/entry permit. So you go to the visa/entry permit and then you see a lot of information. Always it will come like that, just like in Chinese, and then you translate it if you have a translator. And what you do is that when you open here, you go to study. You go to study. These are the visa classes that they have. These are the visa classes that they have. So if probably you are traveling for visiting or whatever transit, you need a transit visa, the information and everything is here. So if you are going on probably education or any other type, you'll get all the information over here. So you go to study, then you go to student. So you open student, that's you're applying as a student, right? So you go to student and you will see a lot of information regarding how student visa application is done. Most of the time, the school will send you all the supporting document that you need, and the only thing that you also have to have in place, or you need to have in place, happens to do with bank statements. And then sometimes you don't have to also worry about bank statement when you are being given a scholarship. You can use your scholarship letter as a financial document for the visa application, and they do approve it at times. It is not always. So just take that note. Just take note of that. It is not always that when you put in your scholarship letter, the immigration service will see it as your financial or their source of financial competency. No, sometimes they would ask for bank statement, which of course, if you are being given a scholarship, you don't have to, you don't need to have a huge amount in your account before the visa will be issued. Once you have the scholarship, they believe that you can cover, your cost of stay in Hong Kong. So when you come here, there's a lot of information about it, like introduction, petition, entry arrangement for dependents, processing time. So you can read about all this information, but these are not your entry. You can go to you have to go to the application procedure. That is the most important part. So you can look at the application form. You can look at the guarantor in Hong Kong. If you have application form to be submitted and documents checklist, you can just read about it to know the kind of document that you need to have. They will list all of them over here. So one thing that is important happens to do with this from the ID 995A. It is very, very important. You need to download it and fill it up. And I will take you through step-by-step approach as to how you're supposed to fill that document. And then photocopy of applicant's Hong Kong identity card, if any. That means you don't call it, if you're coming as an international student, you don't have a Hong Kong identity card. Unless you get to the country, you settle before the identity card will be issued to you. I mean, if you enter Hong Kong legally, they will give you identity card, which also serve as papers. Yeah, that is, papers within the country. That gives you the access to most of, everything, like almost everything in Hong Kong, just like citizens, right? And if you want to stay there too after your program of study, you get your work, and then you don't have any issues once you're being given an identity card. If you enter legally, they will give you an identity card. That means you qualified. But if you don't enter legally and you enter illegally, it will be hard for you to get an identity card, and then living in Hong Kong will be hell for you. That's one thing you have to take note of. So if your father is applying for you, the requirements are also there. So you just have to take your time and read about this one. If you are coming with a dependent, you need to also download this from the I-995B if you're coming with a dependent, and then you just have to get it done. So you can go to after application. This is application procedure, right? So let's take it one after the other. These were just requirements that I just want you to have a fair idea about it. You can read about it later, but the main thing, you go to the application form, and then the application form, they are asking you to get this form, the ID 995A form, and then and their sponsor should also complete the application of this, right? It happens, if you have a sponsor, assuming you had admission to Hong Kong without scholarship and you want to go, your sponsor too must also fill this form in order to prove that you have enough funds to study in Hong Kong. Yeah, so you download this form, you just click on it, and then you would have access to download it. You download it as it is. After downloading it, you just have to open it. Or if you have, you can fill it online as well. If you have an Acrobat, add into your browser, you can fill it online. So this is how the form looks like. And I want us to take note of certain things. They are very, very key. So the first thing that, they will be asking you is probably your bio information, which is it is normal for even school applications. It is being done, so it is not something new to everybody. Or if it is new to you, just have to just look at it. This PDF is something you can amend. It is not, read only PDF file. It is something that you can amend. So you are eligible to fill it online. If you want to print it out and fill it, the instruction is there. You can use black pen to fill it out, and it should be in caps. If you read up here, you can say, if you want to fill with this, a person who knowingly and willingly makes false statement that's not what I'm looking for. The application for this to be completed by applicant. Please read the guidelines for whatever. So the guidelines are also there. If you want to fill this one, what I know is that you can fill it with a black pen. Yeah, if you want to print it out and fill it, you can fill it with a black pen. But make sure they are all in caps. That is the most important thing. So here, they are asking you about name in Chinese. If applicable, you don't have. So you don't have to do anything. Don't go and put NA there because it is an Asian country and NA can be a name. LA can be a name. You should take note. LI is a name. Lee, it's a name. So don't go and put any NA there. Don't make that mistake. And that will be added to your application process. That will be added to your name, and it might create an issue for you. So don't go and put any NA there. So your surname, you just have to put your surname. Your given name, that's your first name, you just have to put it there. So given name in English, surname in English, you just have to put it there. Aliases, if you have any registered aliases like my name, KYs, if it is documented, If I have document backing it that I've registered the KY, the scholar, as part of my name, I can put it there as my alias. So if I don't have anything on that sort, I just have to leave it. You just have to, your sex, which is normal, either male or female, you get it done. Your date of birth, place of birth, you just have to get it done. And here, the place of birth, if you're coming from, Ghana, Nigeria, Togo, Tanzania, whichever country that you are coming from, your place of birth automatically becomes the country. So your place of birth will be Ghana. You can either, because the space is very small and it's not even advisable to actually write where you were born exactly over there. Once you're coming from Ghana, you can put Ghana there, which will be accepted. Yeah. But if you're born in, let's say, Kumasi, and you think you can write Kumasi, Ghana there, that is fine. But if it doesn't fit the space, you can just write your country there, which is also accepted. Your nationality, you just have to indicate it, marital status, whether you're married, bachelor, divorced, separated, whatever, you just have to indicate it. Hong Kong identity card, of course, you don't have it. You haven't lived in the country before, so you don't have Hong Kong identity card. You just have to ignore it. If you're coming from mainland and you have an identity card, here mainland is, it's China itself. Hong Kong is a special administrative region of China, which of course it's a country on its own. They have their own regime. There's a whole lot of banter around those things between Asia. So I don't want to go deeper to it. When you get to the country too, you also have to be careful when you're talking about, the politics between China and Hong Kong. Just have to be careful. It's just an advice. Just take note of that. Yeah. Don't go and be talking about your politics. Yeah. Just go there, utilize their system, and then make better life for yourself. Yeah. So that is there. If you're coming from mainland, you just have to put your ID over there. If you don't have it, that's it. Travel document type. You are traveling with passport. So you just have to put your passport. You write passport. Yeah. If you are a permanent resident in Hong Kong, it will probably be your identity card. So you can put your identity card and then the number there. That is accepted. Yeah. So if you're traveling with your passport, you just passport. And then you put your passport number here. And then place of issue, if it's Ghana, the place of issue is Accra. Date of issue, you put it there, day, month, year, and then date of expiry, you just put it there. Your email address, you just make sure you put your email address there. Country or territory of domicile, it's actually, if you're coming from Ghana, that's where you live. That's Ghana. And then, has the applicant acquired permanent resident in his or her country? Of course, yes. You are a citizen in your country, so, and for that matter, you have a permanent resident where you are. But assuming you've lived in a certain region before you have a permanent resident, you can also put it out. That's it. So how long have you lived there? It's actually equally to your age, so you can just put it there if you want to. If you don't want to, that's it. Or you can just leave it. Your occupation, you're a student. Yeah. Name of current employer, you can just put it there. If you're not a student and you're working, your occupation, you can put it there. Maybe you're a financial analytics, you're a data analytics, you're a data scientist. You're an accountant, you can put it there. Name of occupation, you can put it there. If you're working with if you're Ghana, maybe airport, or probably, Port and Harbor Authority, or whatever, you can just put it there. Yes, and the address of the current employer, you just have to indicate your address to as well, because they do background check. One thing you have to take note is that Hong Kong visa application, there is no interview attached to it. Yeah, so it sounds good, right? Yeah, I know. Most of you are happy about it. There's no interview attached to it, because the interview process are part of the admission process. When you apply to any school in Hong Kong, most of them, there's an interview, to that. So when you are able to, succeed with your interview with a school, count yourself as, someone in Hong Kong already. Yeah. When at the end you get your admission, and then with your scholarship attached to it, the only thing you have to do is that when you're doing the visa application, don't put in any false information, because they will do a background check. Yeah, that one, take it from me. They will do that. They will do a background check. So if you think you can lie with the application process, you're just deceiving yourself. At the end of the day, you are going to lose your chance. Yeah. So you don't have to lie with the application process. Make sure if every information you're coming out with are legit. Yeah, because they will do background checks before they will issue the visa. Yeah. Then you go to, if you're currently staying in Hong Kong, you're not currently staying in Hong Kong. So here you just take no, and then it'll work. I've told you, this form can be amended. It is not a read-only file that cannot be amended. It is writable file that you can amend it. So if you tick no, it will be ticked over here and you can save it. Yeah, it will work. And if you want to print it out, you fill it with your black pen. Don't forget. Yeah. Then when did you complete this file? Date, and then you sign. You can sign electronically if you know how to do that. Or you can fill it when you're done, you print it out and you use your pen to sign and rescan it again and upload it in the visa, application portal. Yeah. So here, your permanent address, particularly, your permanent address or present address, you can just put it there, just indicate it, and you'll be good to go. Then you attach one photograph. It's a passport picture. You have to affix your passport picture over here, this side. This is for you, the applicant. If you are coming with your wife, there's also a section for that. Yeah. So proposed stay in Hong Kong. Hong Kong visa is being given for a year. So even if your dream is to stay in Hong Kong forever, I'm sorry, the visa will be just 1 year. But when you get to the country and then your visa expires, you have the right to, apply for another visa, which will be given if you're doing something relevant within the country. If you're working, they will give you the visa. If you're in school, they will give you the visa. Whatever thing that you're doing, they will give you the visa. And don't forget, if you enter Hong Kong with school, you qualify to be given a permanent, an ID card. That's a Hong Kong identity card, which, of course, you have papers within the country. So you don't have much problem as someone who entered the country in other way around. You get my point? Yeah. So going to school in Hong Kong is good because it gives you freedom, and then it also gives you rights to the country's fortunes. Yeah, that is one thing you have to take note of. Then you go to, if you are going with your wife, this is where you need to put her information. Yeah, or your kids. This is where you put their information, and then you affix their passport size picture to here. If it's your wife alone, you just have to put her passport picture there. Yeah. So name of your wife, just detail, just like yourself. Nationality, whatever, is the same thing. You put it there. And then your wife, if you're going with your kid, your wife and a kid, your wife picture will be up here, and then your kid will be down here. Yeah. And then your wife might sign this part. Your wife, not you. Take note of. Your wife must sign this part, the dependent part. So take note of it. That can also be done electronically if you can do that. And then the next thing is that, information of proposed stay. It is up to you. Name and address of the school. You just have to put it there. If it is Hong Kong Baptist University, the address will be given in the admission document that will be issued to you. Leg 9, every university in Hong Kong, they will do that for you. Yeah. Whether PolyU, that's Hong Kong Polytechnic University, HKU, that's Hong Kong University itself, or City University of Hong Kong, they are going to do that for you. So you don't have to worry much about it. Then if you have any professional, this is about you, your qualification, your education and your professional qualification. If you have any professional qualification, you just name it there, the institution, your school, major subject, what you studied, and I just put it there, degree or qualification obtained. So if you have the degree, you can just indicate it obtained or end. You can just put it there from, when did you start the school to when? That is it. Date you started the school and the day you ended your school. Yeah. If you are still in school, you can put it here present. Yeah, that is accepted, right? Probably you are in your penultimate year, that's the final year, and you can put it there as present. Yes, and nobody will penalize you for that. And then the most important aspect, that is the applicant estimated cost of living. This is very, very key, right? And then I will show you how this one is done. Yeah. So your school fees. With your school fees, it will be stated clearly in your admission letter. Or probably when you go to the program website, you see your school fees over there. So you need to have information for your school fees. What you can do is that they only need estimation for, just a year estimation or a term estimation, something to show that you can cover your cost. So put your school fees over there. Don't lie about it, about the first one. Accommodation, you can check from the government statistics website in Hong Kong to know the kind of, cost of accommodation in Hong Kong. And then cost of accommodation in Hong Kong ranges from 3,000 to maybe 10,000, depending on the size of room that you want and the comfortability too as well. Yeah, I mean, it sounds huge, right? Yeah, that is Hong Kong for you. Cost of living in Hong Kong is up there. I must be honest with you. Cost of living in Hong Kong is up there. So accommodation are also expensive. Accommodations are also expensive in Hong Kong. So you need to budget like 3,000 to 10,000, depending on comfortability. If you want big room, if you're coming with your family that you need big rooms, something like 5,000, 6,000 can get you, I mean, comfortable room with your family, or yourself. If you want comfortable room, 5,000 every month can get you a room, or 3,000 every month. Don't forget, I'm not sounding in terms, the money are not in USD. So don't be amazed by the 3,000. It is in Hong Kong dollars. So you can convert it, to your currency. So 3,000 Hong Kong dollars to your currency, you'll get the amount. So to Ghana City, as of now, will be somewhere 3,200 every month. Yeah. So if you're paid, so if you get a room for 6,000, you can, in Ghana City, it's about maybe 6,400. As of now, I'm using the prevailing rate for the conversion over here. Yeah, it might be different by the time you get to Hong Kong. So you got to take note of that. Yeah, so you put your school fees over here, and then accommodation, you do that. You can put it at 3,000 depending on your budget, because they know it. The immigration officers know it. So you can't just go and put 1,000 there. No, that is not realistic. Yeah, that is not realistic. So you just, because every figure over here, every money over here is in HKD, that's Hong Kong dollars. So it should be as such. So maybe 3,000 will be kind of okay, or 3,500 or 4,000, depending on, the kind of comfort you want in Hong Kong. Then the next one is cost of transport and meal. So approximately you should be spending somewhere 800 to 1,000 on transport, because Hong Kong get the best transport in the world. That is what I can say. They have, good MTR system. The MTR, that is the train system. The Metro Mine, that's train system. They've got a lot of buses. They've a lot of buses, to double-decker buses, single buses that moves around everywhere. So transport issues in Hong Kong it's not a big deal. You don't have to think much about, buying your own car or whatever, because, cost of using a car is expensive than cost of buying a car in Hong Kong. So take note of that. Yeah, these are the realities in Hong Kong that you have to be aware of when you want to go to Hong Kong. Yeah. Then others you can put it at 500. Maybe these are just contingency costs. Yeah, that's, you can just make it. It doesn't come always, so you can just budget like 500 Hong Kong dollars every month for that cost too as well. And then you just sum it and you put a total over there. Yeah. So this is where they look at it to assess your financial competencies. Yeah. So if, let's say, the amount you have over there is more than your scholarship package, it is more than your scholarship amount, the stipend that you'll be receiving every month. If you put it together, let's say you had an IPS just like myself. So the IPS in a year was 100,000 Hong Kong dollars. So in every month, I was taking 10,000 Hong Kong dollars. So if at the end of the day, my estimate is beyond that 100,000, and then I don't back it with any statement, trust me, it's either the immigration office will email me for further, financial documents, or they are going to turn my application down. That means they are going to refuse me the visa on the basis that I cannot finance myself in Hong Kong. So you just have to take note of that. Once you're done with your estimation, compare your total amount with your scholarship package and then your financial document too as well. And I would advise anybody that have gotten admission to Hong Kong with scholarship, to back it with a bank statement. If you have good scholarship like what I had to Hong Kong, or on a PhD, which of course PhD is PhD, you don't even need bank statement. I'm not sure. You don't need it, because every month you are taking like 28,600 or so Hong Kong dollars. So you don't need any bank statement. It's huge. Yeah. So you can put your funding letter there and that will be accepted. Yeah. So you don't have problem with that. And if you feel like you want to add your bank statement, you can go ahead and add it to it. That's fine. You don't have to have, huge amount in your account. That's okay. So your financial situation, of applicant, are you deposit, is it deposit or probably income? So you just have to go for income. So the amount you put it there, brief description. If it is scholarship, you can just describe it as maybe just like the scholarship I had. So IPS scholarship, I mean, from HKBU, that covers my tuition and gives me a monthly subsidies of this. That will be the description. Yeah. If it is a PhD that you have the fellowship scheme, you can just describe it. I mean, PhD fellowship scheme of this amount that covers my entire, I mean, cost of study, and then also gives me monthly stipend of this. That will be the description, and that will be accepted. When you're done, your job is, I mean, just read the information over here. Previous short-term studies in Hong Kong. If you have some, fine, you can just put it there. If not, you just have to leave it. Then date and then your signature. The information over here, you have to read, and then you take the one that relates to you. Yeah. If you have been refused, these are just background check and security questions, and then normal basic. If you have been refused a visa to Hong Kong before, they will ask you. You just have to take no. If they have refused you before, yes, yeah. And then if you are coming with a dependent, you just have to take yes. If you're not coming with any dependent, no. I mean, these are just security questions, and then normal, I mean, agreement or acknowledgement questions that you have to agree to or probably disagree. Yeah. So when you're done, you just sign, and then you sign, and then you date it as well. So dependent to, if you are going with dependent to will do that kind of declaration too as well. Yeah. So you just have to just do that, and then you move on. That's just like that. Then you sign. So literally, you are done with this form. Yeah. After doing that, you just have to sign. Down here are just information. You don't have to do anything about it. So you make sure you sign on all pages. And don't forget, if you are going with a dependent, make the dependent who would also sign on her or his or her page. Yeah. If the person is a minor, then the dad or the mom would have to also do that. The dad or the mom would have to do the signing for the minor, yeah, for the child. Yeah. So after doing this, after filling this document, you have to go back to their website, and then you create, I mean, your portal for the application. So you create a portal for the application. That is, you have your application form, the guarantor, submit application. That is where you can create the portal. So you go to submit the application, and then you just read about it. You just read about it. They will show you where you can go to submit your application. You need to create a portal, and then you upload all your documents. You just have to upload all your documents. And the next thing you have to do is to just wait. So the most important document in this process is the ID 995A. Yeah, when you create your portal, because I don't have admission, I mean, I'm done with it. I'm just showing you how you're supposed to do it. I mean, I don't want to go to the website that where I will create another, because it is not an ordinary website that you have to be playing with. It's an immigration website. So if I create an account over there, it means I'm doing a visa application as a student, which of course I'm no more a student in Hong Kong. Yeah, I'm done with schooling in Hong Kong, unless I'm going back for a PhD before I will do that. Yes, and in that regard, I have my identity card already, so I have a way to also apply for that. Yeah, there's a way to apply for that. Yeah, so that is one thing you have to take note of. You need the application form, and then you create your application form submitted. You create your portal to upload your admission letter. This ID 995A form, and if you have a sponsor, the sponsor too would also have to fill the ID 995B. Yeah, if that means if you don't have any scholarship, and then you go. Someone is sponsoring you for your education in Hong Kong. The person would have to fill the form ID 995B. Yeah, which of course also contains basic information that a person would have to provide. And when you submit your document, there's nothing you can do. Absolutely nothing you can do. In fact, even to the processing time, there's nothing you can do. You can't email the immigration about, the status of your application or whatever. You just have to wait till they get back to you. So if they need something, what they will do is that they will email you through the email you stated in your form. That's the ID form, the ID 995A form. That is what they will do. They will send you an email that, hey, we think the document you submitted to us does not tally with what we are looking for. So you've got to provide this and that before your visa can be issued. Yeah. So you have to do that to them and they will issue you the visa. And hey, you're ready to move to Hong Kong. That's it. So that is how the visa application is done. And if it is your first time going to study in Hong Kong and then the visa is issued, mostly they issue it to your university. They issue the visa to your university, and then your university would have to add certain documents to it before they will post it to you. So the visa will be posted through the university. And hey, we are in the technology world. So that was the old age when I was doing mine. Now, Hong Kong has adopted an electronic form of issuing visa. So you don't need anything. There's nothing that will be posted to you. They will send you an email to print your visa from their database. So you don't have to worry. When your visa is approved, the school document will be forwarded to you through your mail. And then you also have the chance to print your visa from the immigration website after the visa fee is being paid for, which of course the university will do that because when you get, I've explained this in my previous video, so just go back to watch it. When you get your scholarship to Hong Kong, there is a commitment that you would have to pay, and then the visa application fee, everything is attached to that commitment fee. When you get to Hong Kong, the one that is approximately to your monthly subsidy will be refunded to you, but the visa fee will not be refunded. Yeah. So that is how it is done. And most of the programs in Hong Kong are STEM-based, and for that matter, the immigration department will give you what we call no objection letter. So if you get your visa and you have no objection letter, what it means is that you have the right to work in Hong Kong as a student. Yeah, the no objection work letter, gives you the permission to work as a student too as well. But there are limitations, so you have to be aware of that. Of course, no more than 20 hours, working no more than 20 hours within a week. And then also being able to make sure you are in status till you are done with school, and then you get your visa. That's your permit. Another visa, they call it ING visa. That's immigration arrangement for non-local students. That one gives you the liberty to work for, even if you can work for 100 hours, that is up to you. You can work for 100 hours. Yeah, so that is how it is. So thank you for having time for me on this episode. If you're new to my channel and you are yet to subscribe, I would encourage you to subscribe to my channel, and then also try as much as you can to share my channel, comment. Come out with all the information that you want me to do vlogs on, and then I will come with your way. I will come your way once again with a lot of information about Hong Kong. I'm here to do PhD. I'm here to do lifestyle in Hong Kong, and I'm also here to do how you can easily get a job in Hong Kong and how you can also live your life within your budget in order to save a lot too in Hong Kong. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere, and I'm always there for you. Peace out. Bye-bye.